Hello, friends. God love you. I love you. No weapons formed against our mindset and communion with God will ever prosper. This message is going to make a lot of people feel a lot of ways, and that's absolutely okay because that's the point, right? When I be talking to God, I be trying to understand absolutely everything that's going on, right, in the world. More specifically, people in same-sex relationships. I'm like, God, how come you allow this to happen even though you know it's not like what you wanted for humanity, right? Because God made the feminine to be able to produce life with the connection of a man, a male, right? A masculine. That is the only way that children can be produced naturally without scientific involvement, right? If we doing things the godly way, there's no outside assistance needed because everything that God wants for us, God will make happen. And here's the message that's really important. You can't rush God, right? Everything that is aligned for us comes in divine timing. And just because ideas are put into our mind, not all of the ideas are our own, right? Media has a huge influence, spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, advertisement, right? Not every idea and suggestion is a good one, even if it makes your body feel good. When you're in a same-sex relationship or marriage, it is all about pleasure, okay? It is about pleasure, right? Because if we can step back from our emotions, if you're watching this and you're in a same-sex relationship or marriage, if you step back from your emotions, and let's just do the math on it, right? If you are two men and you're in a same-sex relationship, if that was literally meant to be, there will be no need for you to use numbing cream, right, on the butthole of another male to penetrate it, right? Because the rectum is, in fact, an exit. This is where waste comes from. If God wanted that to happen, we wouldn't need to do things, put creams or ointments on our body to suppress our nervous system from feeling pain, right? When we're trying to derive pleasure from that area. The female womb, when in a wonderful relationship, is going to moisten itself and wet itself to receive the pleasure of a male, right? Just because sexual toys are made, right, out of plastic, doesn't mean it's a good idea to have something like that enter into the female womb. Anytime anything is put inside of the female womb, right, to derive pleasure that is not from a man, you should ask yourself, are you really showing yourself love by allowing lubricants, condoms, toys that are not natural to be put inside of your womb? You have to ask yourself if you love yourself by doing that. Another thing God showed me is that not all fruit can be eaten. When you're in a same-sex relationship or marriage, that's like eating low-hanging fruit, okay? There was a chocolate factory next to one of the places I was staying at, and the lady was telling me how it takes 3 years for cacao to grow and mature. Now, someone can see the cacao fruit after year 1 and think that it is ripe and ready to produce what is necessary in order to make the chocolate. But if you open that cacao too soon, you're not going to get what it is that you want out of it. When you're in a same-sex relationship or partnership, you have grasped low-hanging fruit, specifically just for pleasure, so you can hurry up and bypass what God actually has for you. Another thing is that it takes a queen and a king to produce an heir naturally, okay? If God wants us to have babies, we do not need science involved to create babies. God will do what God needs to do to make sure the magic and the miracles happen, right? In order to produce a child for two people. Just like when people use birth control, you can never control what God has for you, because there's still people that have used birth control and has still had children. You cannot stop what God has for you. You can try and rush things, and that will cause tower moments in your life. You can try and rush things and confuse your mind into thinking a same-sex relationship is for you, but your mind is confused if you think and you know in your heart of hearts that you want to bear a child, right? The way God intended. And so now you find yourself in a same-sex relationship. How could it be possible at all to conceive a child, right? Two women cannot have babies, just like two men cannot have babies. So when we try to do things that are not in alignment with God, we're going to find that we have to compromise, that we have to think of ulterior ways to get all of the things that we want. But in this day and age, when we want instant gratification, you can swipe on apps to have hookups, just to have sex with somebody without any heart, with the instant gratification of getting things delivered to us instantly. People think that it's okay to just jump into relationships because they're too afraid to be alone and spend time by themselves and find out who you really are. Because if you're in a same-sex relationship, I think about some women that be trying to look like men, but that's literally not their genetic makeup. Like, why are you taking any type of prescription medication to make you grow facial hair, to alter your body in ways that God did not intend for it to be altered? Just because something is suggested does not make it be a good idea. And that is where it is very important for us to be grounded in God and knowing what is right for us, right? It is important for us to be grounded in God and doing the right things at all times, even when it comes to things that we believe make us feel good. Like when I think about the sex toy industry, all of these toys, all of these ideas are presented before us to have a good time. But if you with who you're supposed to be with, you don't need anything additional to have a good time with. Like, if you think about it, just their presence alone is fulfilling enough that you don't need to have add-ons, especially things that are created that are unnatural that you want to put into your organic body. Like, that doesn't make sense. When it comes to this world, we constantly have to use our discernment on what is high vibrational and what is low vibrational, okay? We have to use our discernment, and we have to have patience. People be trying to rush things, right? Some people just happy to be in a relationship so they can say they got somebody, even though the somebody that they got ain't really worth anything. But people be happy to hold on and, oh, I got a man, I got a husband, I got a partner, I got a this. But are they worth even claiming? You cannot rush God. And if you dreamed of the most magical version of a divine partner, right? A divine feminine and a divine masculine together, God never wants you to compromise in what it is that you want. You want to have children? God wants you to have children. God created you, in fact, to have children, okay? Everything that God wants for us, God wants to give us, and then some more. But when we settle and we grab the lowest hanging fruit from the tree, and we think we have something, only to realize you don't have what you think you want if you have to compromise on anything, especially on your integrity with yourself. Especially pleasure. Pleasure will trick your mind into thinking that this is what your heart wants. But your heart never wants you to sacrifice anything. And again, God made the divine male and the divine female, the masculine and the feminine, so that they can procreate and create children. There is only one way to do that. That does not involve science. that does not involve the manipulation of the body. To create life, God wants us to do exactly that in divine time. We cannot rush God, and that is the point of this message. Did you rush into a relationship? Did you rush and compromise yourself and not have patience and getting to know who you are? Do you find yourself in a same-sex relationship because of the environment that you're in, because of the people that you are around? Are you happy? Is your life going well? Do you have any problems? Are you overweight? Are you suppressing anything? These are the things that we do not think about. Everybody rushing into relationships and don't even know who they are and truly what love is. Okay? When you sit with yourself and you commune with God, you will find out exactly what love is. God is all about unconditional love. This is not about judgment. This is about understanding the self and having discernment on just because things are in our 3D reality doesn't mean that they are true, doesn't mean that they are correct, right? We got suggestions right now that approves murder in the legal system. The state of Florida done conducted 13 deaths by lethal injection. They think that's a good idea. That is called murder, but that's somebody's job. It's a law written somewhere by man. Is that a good idea? Is that a great suggestion? Who is anyone to kill another human being? We got suggestions of medication and pharmaceuticals when none of that stuff is necessary. You know what is necessary? Eating God's alive food. Physical daily activities, honoring and respecting the vessel. We have a lot of things in our reality that disconnects us from God, the wisdom of God, the knowing of God. We have Bibles, we have religions that will distort our reality, when the only thing we need to do is commune with God ourselves. And this is how you get all of the information and all of the insights that you need to align with your highest timeline and magnetize your divine partner. Okay? It's a lot in this message for you to take on and for you to really feel and think about. Most people that are in same-sex relationships have experienced some type of trauma that is being suppressed. I have been hit on many a times by gay married men. Are you sure you want to be in a gay relationship? Right? Are you sure you want to be in a same-sex relationship? Because gay means happy, right? Just because something is an idea, just because something can make you feel good and stimulate certain parts of your body does not mean that is for you. Because any females that are in same-sex relationships that use props, that's saying that you prefer the stimulation of a man. So why put plastic items inside of your vessel when you can just have an organic man? Right? The thing is, you need to wait and have patience and work on yourself and heal and love yourself and wait for God to align you with who is actually meant for you, instead of trying to force something that should not even be. That is the message. God love you. I love you. Have a super awesome, wonderful day, friends, from wherever you're watching from. Bye.